Hello, dear students. Last class we have just mentioned measures of central tendency. That's already completed syllabus for you. So I'm going to start dispersion from this class onwards. We have learned measures of central tendency. That is called average, correct? So that measures that describes the central tendency of a set of data. Here we are going to discuss dispersion. The word dispersion, or we can tell it as variation, means what is mean by dispersion. I have written here the meaning of it. That is degree to which numerical data tend to spread about an average value is called dispersion. What is mean by this? We have a data average value. We are finding average value like mean, median, mode or something like that. So in this data, there will be in some position in the data set, like a diagram you think, somewhere this data is there. So around this average value, all the other values will be spreaded, correct? So what is how much variation are coming from the average value? That is called dispersion or variation. So we have an average value, all the other values are around this average value. So how much variation we have from this average value that we are going to measure. So for the different types of measures are there to measure this dispersion that is listed over here. That is first one range, then mean deviation, third one quartile deviation, fourth one 10 to 90 percentile range, fifth one is standard deviation. All these measures gives an idea that the average value how much vary it from the other data of the set. So if for example average of a set of data is 10 and if some other value is 3 or 2, we can see directly the variation how much 7 difference comes in between, right? That is a kind of variation. Likewise, we are finding different types of variations that I will explain one by one. So we will see how much spread we have, spreaded the data we have, whether it is clustered in one point or spreaded vastly, or some cluster and some were spreaded a lot. Likewise, we can find the variation in the given data set. So let us first see the first measure of dispersion, that is range. That is a simple measure. That range is defined as the difference between largest and smallest number of a data set. That is so easy. We have a data set. I have given a data set here. So we will see how to find the range of it. So we have to find the largest and smallest value from the set. So which is the maximum value? Maximum value of the set is coming as, if you are writing it in ascending or descending order, you can find it easily. Here it is coming 12 is the maximum. So 12 I have written here. Minimum value equal to, that is coming 2. So you can write your range as, what is your range? Difference between the largest and smallest. So 12 minus 2, that is equal to 10. So 10 is the one measure of dispersion that is called range. So if you are asked to find range of a data set, what you have to do, you have to take the maximum value, minimum value. So find the difference between these two, then you can write. Always take maximum minus minimum to get the value. So it will come always positive number only. The range you can find in this way. For grouped and ungrouped data, the same thing happen. Grouped, if it is grouped or not, doesn't matter. We have a maximum value for it. So you can find the from the set which is the maximum value and which is the minimum value. You have to take out and you have to find the range in this way. Now next type of measure of dispersion is mean deviation. So mean deviation can be done for ungrouped. This is for ungrouped and this is grouped. Hope you know the concept of ungrouped and group. Ungrouped means you are just listing all the terms in like a sequence. Grouped means we are classifying it like a range from 10 to 20, 20 to 30. Likewise, we are classifying and we are finding the frequency in each class. How many numbers came in that particular class we are listing. So that is called group data. Okay. So in both case, we have to find mean deviation. So first one I have written here the formula. The formula is sigma I is equal to 1 to n xi minus x bar. What is x bar? X bar is the mean, right? We have already learned in the last chapter measures of central tendency. X bar denote mean. So mean deviation means the data how much deviating from the mean value. That is the meaning of that. So xi is the entries we have. If n entries are there, we have x1 x2 etc n entries will come. Each number you have to subtract, from each number you have to subtract mean value, then take the modulus of it. Why you are taking modulus? Doesn't matter whether it is positive or negative, we will not consider the sign. We are just taking the difference between that number and the mean, and we are finding all such numbers and finding the sum of it and divide by total number. That will give you the mean deviation. So let us find for this set of values. How will you find? So mean deviation we can write it as m dot d. That is the notation we are using. So mean deviation md equal to, so what is the mean of this that we have to find first? What is x bar? X bar is equal to sum of all these numbers by how many numbers are the 5 numbers are there. So the sum will come as 20, 20, 30. 30 by 5. 30 by 5 numbers are there. Sum of these numbers is 30 and by 5 that is equal to 6. So your mean is 6. So mean deviation is equal to, you have to find the modulus value of the differences. So modulus of first number is 2. So 2 minus mean is 6. Okay, plus second number 3, so 3 minus 6, plus next number is 6, so modulus of 6 minus 6, plus next is 8, so 8 minus 6, plus last number is modulus of 11 minus 6. So you have to find the sum of all these numbers divided by what is the total number, that is capital N is how many numbers are there? 5 numbers are there. So here by 5. So this is equal to, let us find the sum. 2 minus 6 is minus 4. So you have to take modulus. So 4 plus, here it will come 3 plus, here it will come 0 plus, here 2 plus 5 divided by 5. So this is equal to, you will get, when you add this, you will get 7 plus 2 9 plus 5 14 by 5, or you can write this as equal to 2.8. 2.8, correct? So this is the mean deviation of this particular data, that is each values deviation from mean we have found, and we have found the sum of it and divided by 5, that is called the mean deviation. This is for ungrouped data, that is a list of data. Now I have given an example for grouped data over here. In this there's a slight change in the formula because it is given in the terms of frequency. We have to include frequency formula here. So here just modulus of xi minus x bar. Here we have an fi also with that to multiply. So sigma I equal to 1 to n fi into modulus xi minus x bar whole divided by capital N. Here capital N is sum of all the frequencies. Here it was just count of numbers. Here it is total frequency you have to find to get the count. Okay, so this formula I am applying here. How we are using, here is the data given, this is the question we have. So the classes are given 60 to 62, 63 to 65. Likewise we have it is given, and frequency of each class is also given. In this class 5 entries are coming, in this class 18 entries are coming, likewise. So to find it, what all things we have to find? First we have to find xi minus x bar, then you have to multiply with fi, then you have to find sum of all those, then divide by n. So xi, what is xi here? Here it is given like a class. So to find xi, you have to find the class mark. Class mark means you have to take the average of it. So 60 plus 62 by 2 will come 61. That is the average value of this class. So 61 we will take it as your xi. So likewise for each class you have to find the class mark. So all averages are coming correct. Middle value of these all classes are coming here. Then we have to subtract from the mean. So you have to find the mean of it. How will you find the mean? You know the formula for mean for a frequency data. How it is a sigma fi xi divided by capital N. And capital N means sigma fi. That you have to find first. They have found it as 67.45. So I haven't done the calculation here. You have to do by calculator. Sorry, 64.5. Okay. So this is the capital X bar that they have found. It's not written anywhere here. So you have to find it separately. X bar you have to find, and that is 67.45. Then this class mark we have written. From each class mark you have to subtract 67.45. That is Xi minus X bar. Then you have to take the modulus. So no need to write the sign over here. So 61 minus 67.45 will give you 6.45. 64 minus 6745 will give you 3.45. Likewise, from each values, we are subtracting the mean. So you will get this much value. Now, what is the next step? This into you have to multiply corresponding frequency. What is the frequency? I have this is written again here. Frequency is written here. So you have to multiply these two numbers together. So the multiplied value is written here. Okay, so 6.45 into 5, here 32.25. Likewise, each numbers multiplied to get this. Then what you have to do? Find the sum of it. So you are finding the sum of it here. The sum you are getting as 226.5. Then sum of the frequency, that is capital N, is 100. So what is the mean deviation by formula? Mean deviation is equal to sum of this, that is 226.5 by capital N, that is capital N is 100. So 100, that is equal to 2.265. So this is the mean deviation of this grouped data. Hope you followed this. Already you have learned this table format, how to write the table, how to write the frequency, how to write the class mark. All this you have learned in the frequency distribution and everything. So you are following, I think. What you have to do is you have to write the problem in this way and draw the tables. Write by your own all the class mark, all the differences you find using calculator. Do not copy from this. You can cross check the values, but you have to do it yourself once. Entire problem you have to use calculator to find each and every values. Here I have written, I have copy pasted the values. You don't write this directly in your notebook. That will never help you. You have to calculate it with your calculator. Each and every value you have to find yourself. At the end, you check whether you are getting the same matching mean deviation or not. Hope you have followed the method how to find mean deviation of ungrouped and grouped. Write these two examples in your notebook. Now let us see one more measure of dispersion, that is quartile deviation. You have already found how to find the quartile. Hope you remember that. What was mean by quartile? I'll draw here. You have a set of data like this, and you are dividing the full set of data into 4 parts. Okay, so the first part it is coming here, that is called q1, and this is called q2, and the data come here is called q3. This is the first quartile. This is second quartile. Second quartile has another meaning. What was that? Median. Median is the another name for the second quartile, and third quartile is Q3. So this is coming in the 1 by 4th position. This is coming in the half position. This is coming in the 3 by 4th position. If you arrange the data in sequential order, you can find these positions to get these values. if there is it is not an integer. If you find the 1 by 4th of the total number, if it is not an integer, you can take the average of the two previous and coming number. That will give you Q1. That is the method. We will see one question here corresponding to it. So first one, so just go through the quartile deviation formula. This is the quartile I am just telling. Now what is mean by quartile deviation? It has another name, semi-interquartile range or quartile deviation. That means Q3 minus Q1 by 2. So this is denoted by Q, that is quartile deviation is denoted by Q. Q3 minus Q1 means this is the portion, correct? Q3 minus Q1 divided by 2, that is called semi. Divided by 2 given, that is called it a semi. If there is no divided by 2, that means if it is Q3 minus Q1 only, then it is called interquartile range. Then we will call it as interquartile range only. If it is divided by 2, then it is called semi-interquartile range. Whatever, you can find both. To find this quartile deviation, first what you have to do, you have to first find Q1 and Q3, then only you can find quartile deviation. You have already done how to find Q1 and Q3, so I'll give you a problem. Here I have written a question. Find median, lower quartile, upper quartile and interquartile range of the following set of score. So some set of data is given, that is 19, 21, 23, 20. Likewise a sequences. How many numbers are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 numbers are given. So what is the first thing you have to do? This is ungrouped data, right? There is no frequency comes, they like a listing they have given. So this is ungrouped. So first what you have to do, you have to arrange it in the ascending order. So 19, 20, 21, likewise ascending order it is done. Then what you have to do, quartiles. How to find the quartiles? I told here for this quartile deviation we need only Q1 and Q3. So no need of our second quartile or median, we need not to find, only to find Q1 and Q3. So what is Q1? Q1 is the n plus 1 by 4th term. So n plus 1 by 4th term means here what is n? Here n is equal to 9. 9 numbers are here. So 9 plus 1 by 4, that is 2.5th term. That is you have to find 2.5th term, which is a 2.5th term. That is you cannot take 2.5th term, either second term or third term. 2.5th term we don't have. So what you will do, you have to find, see, a second and third. This is the 2.5 is the average of 2 and 3, correct? So second and third term is 20 and 21. So we are finding the average of 20 and 21, that is 20.5. That is the lower quartile. That means lower quartile means what? Q1. Now next upper quartile, Q3, that is 3/4 of n plus 1th term. So 3/4 of n, we have 9. So 3/4 of 3/4 into 10 will come. That will come 30 by 4. That is 7.5th term. 7.5th term we cannot take. So what you will do? 7 and 8th middle term will take. So 7 and 8 mean 25 and 27. Correct? These are the two terms, 7th and 8th term. So average of it. So 25 plus 27 by 2, that will come 26. That is your upper quartile, or you can write it as Q3. So what is your interquartile range? Interquartile range will come as upper quartile minus lower quartile, that is Q3 minus Q1. So upper quartile we got it is 26 and lower quartile we get it 20.5. So that is 5.5, that is interquartile range. But we have to find what? We have to find the quartile deviation. So to find the quartile deviation, we have to find Q. What is Q here? Q equal to, sorry, Q equal to Q3 minus Q1 by 2. So that is equal to Q3 minus Q1. Already we found that is interquartile range. That is 5.5 divided by 2. So this is equal to 2 point, what will come? 2 will go 2 times 15. It will go 7 times, then 5 times to 2.75. So this is the quartile deviation of this ungrouped data given. Hope you have followed. So here only task is find Q1 and Q3, then find Q3 minus Q1 by 2. Okay, so this is for ungroup. Now let us see for grouped data as well. So here I have given one question. This is the question I have given. Time given in a range. Then customers also given. So first, what is the formulas for your quartiles for group data? This is the formulas. So Q2 we need not need here because it is a median. We need only Q3 and Q1. So Q1 is equal to L plus H by F. I hope you have learned this formula. Q3 is this. What is L? L is lower class boundary, H is width of the class, F is the frequency of the class, and N is the total number of frequency, CF is the cumulative frequency of the preceding class. So you have already done the problems related to it in the previous chapter. Still, I'll just mention some of the substitutions and all. Let us see how. What is the first thing we have to do? We have to first of all find the xi, that is xi. How will you find? From the class we have to find the average of that. So means class middle value of this class you have to find. So actually I have written wrong entry, I think. Excuse me. The data set I have written was wrong. Just you take this only. Okay, here class boundaries are given 85.5 minus 90.5 and the frequency given as 6. Okay, so this is the frequency given. You remember this. This is the table for frequency and this is for classes given. So what you have to do first, you have to find the class mark. So class mark is the middle of this. So 87 will come here, 93. So your xi and fi you found in this way. Now you have to find the cumulative frequency. How to find cumulative frequency? You have to add, right? So 6, then 6 plus 4, 10, then 6 plus 4 plus 10 will come 20, 6 plus 4 plus 10 plus 6 will come 26, likewise, plus 3 will come 29, again plus 1 will come 30. So just adding the from 6 plus 4, 10, 10 plus 10, 20, 20 plus 6, 26, 26 plus 3, 29, 29 plus 1, 30. So cumulative frequency also found. Now, to find the first quartile, you have to take n by fourth entry and 3n by fourth entry. So, n by fourth entry means what will come here? Here, 30 by 4. Total frequency will come 30, by 4 will come 7.5. So 7.5 is the frequency came where the 7.5 comes in the cumulative frequency. Just see, this is 6. 7.5 is more than that. So you have to consider this class. So 7.56 is less than 7.5. So you will not take that class. Which class you will consider? Next class that coming just higher for this or equal to this. So 7.5 is not in this list. So next bigger one is 10. So that class you have to consider. That is, this is the class you have to consider. So 95. I think this table is wrong. Wait. Here I have replaced the values. Just excuse me for that. Here see, so 90.5, 95.5, that is the class. So corresponding to that class you have to take the values of all these things. Okay, so 90.5 to 95 point, this is the class we are taking. In that, what is lower limit? 90.5. What is h? The difference of this class, that is 5. What is frequency? Frequency is 4 in this class, so it is 4. Capital N is always 30. Then cumulative frequency of the preceding class means just previous class, that is 6. This is the cumulative frequency. So this much things you have to list. That is, in this formula whatever things coming that we are listing for this particular class. So once again what we have done, n by 4 we have found, because this is even number, we have to take n by 4. If it is odd number, in the previous example it was odd, that is why we have taken n plus 1 by 4. So here it is even number, so n by 4. So it will come 7.5. Once you get this value, you have to consider the cumulative frequency just coming next. So 7.5 coming, next a bigger one is 10 in this cumulative. So 10 corresponding to this class. That class we have considering for the calculation of Q1. So in this, lower limit is this. H is the difference of these two class limits. So that is 5. Frequency for that corresponding class is not cumulative frequency, it is frequency. So 4. Then capital N is always 30. Cumulative frequency of preceding class, just previous one, that is 6. This class has a cumulative frequency 10. So just previous one is 6. So 6. So these values I have to substitute in this Q1. So I have substituted here in this. So I am getting Q1 as this. Now in the similar way, you have to find the third quartile. Third quartile is 3n by 4. So you will get it as 22.5. Where it is coming in the cumulative frequency. So 20, 26. So 22.5, next higher value coming as 26. So this class you have to consider. That is which class? 100.5 to 105.5. So that is this class, correct? So in this lower limit is 100.5. H is coming 5. The difference between these two, that is 5. Then frequency corresponding to this class, that is coming 6. This is the frequency. So that is 6. Capital N is always 30. Cumulative frequency of the preceding class. So preceding class means this one, that is 20 you have to take. So 20 came here. Okay. So this values I am substituting in the Q3 formula. So substituting in this. So remember formula has the first one n by 4, the next one 3n by 4. So same it is, I have written all these values and found Q3. Once you get Q1 and Q3, what is the next step to find Q? Q equal to, let me write with some other color, red is too harsh. So Q equal to Q3 minus Q1 by 2. This is the quartile deviation or semi-interquartile deviation. So this is equal to Q3 is 102.583 minus 92.375 brackets whole divided by 2. So what is the value? Let us calculate with the calculator. So let me take the calculator. Here calculator, you all keep one calculator with you for the examination as well. Always practice with the calculation. You need to get a speed with the calculation using calculator. So let us subtract 102.583 minus 92.375. So this is equal to 10.202. So divided by 2. So I have to write it once again, 10.02. I'll write here 10.208 divided by 2. So that is equal to, I can write directly, that is 5.104 when you divide by 4. No need of calculator for that. Okay. So this is your quartile deviation, 5.104. So it is a little bit lengthy for the group data. Why we have to use this formula? For that we have to take the two classes of first quartile and second quartile, corresponding class, the whatever the substitution for the formulas that you have to write, then you have to substitute and find Q1, Q3, then subtract and find Q. So remember the formula and write all these values with the class and all in neatly, and do the calculation without error and find the solution. Use calculator as I repeated earlier. You have to do this with calculator. Each and every value you have to calculate your own and you find it correct. So you can refer the video for whether you are doing correct or not by calculating. If I have done any error, you inform me in the WhatsApp message. Okay. Hope you have followed. We have two more dispersion that we will do in the next class. What all things we have done? Range we have done, mean deviation and quartile deviation, all for grouped and ungrouped data we have done. Now the other two we will do in the next class. Hope you have followed the session. Thank you.